How do you say I like in Spanish? If you think that it is yo gusto or me gusto, this video is for you. In this video, I'm going to show you how to use the verb gustar like a pro, like a real Spanish speaker. This verb has a lot of little details that make it a nightmare for Spanish learners. The first thing that you need to understand is that gustar is not a regular verb, so it will follow a different set of rules. First of all, the pronouns. Me for I, te for you, le for he, she, or you formal, usted, nos for we, os for you guys in Spain, only in Spain. In Latin America, we don't use this conjugation. So if you're learning Spanish from Latin America, you don't need to learn this conjugation. Les is for they or you guys in Latin America. This is a must. You cannot skip them. You cannot forget them. You need to use them. Next, the verb gustar usually, most of the times, only has two conjugations. So, two endings to the verb. The first ending is gusta. And this ending is going to be when you talk about something that is singular, a singular object or a singular verb. We will see some examples. And we use the ending gustan when we are talking about plural objects. A very important thing that many people overlook is the pronunciation. This verb and most of the verbs conjugated in the simple present don't emphasize the last syllable. Most verbs in Spanish emphasize the second to the last. So in this case, the emphasis is gus. So it's gusta, singular, gustan, plural. A very common mistake is gusta, gustan. No, gustat, gustan. Let's practice with two examples. Me gusta el fútbol. Here, the pronoun is me. It's a singular noun, so we say gusta. The emphasis is gus, no gusta. El, this is very important. In Spanish, we will need the definite articles. El, la, los, las, when we are talking about nouns, about things and objects. So, this is important. El, la, los, las. El is masculine singular. La is feminine singular. Los is masculine plural. Las is feminine plural. In English, you will say, I like football. We wouldn't need this word, this article. In Spanish, it's necessary. Same thing here. I like dogs. In Spanish, I like their dogs. This is a very important thing if you want to speak good Spanish. These are the little details that you need to learn. In order to understand how the verb gustar works, you need to understand the basic ideas of sentence structure in Spanish and in English, and I guess in most languages. The basic sentence structure in any language is subject plus verb plus object. Remember that the verb is the action. What is the subject? The subject is who does the action. The object is who receives the action. This is very important. This is basic. Remember, when you are learning your second language, especially, you need to understand your own language. You need to understand how languages work in a general way. So, a common example would be yo, that would be the subject. I put it in parentheses because in Spanish, most of the times, we don't use the pronoun, especially if it is yo. The verb or the action is tengo, I have, and then the object is tres hijos, 3 children. Yo tengo 3 hijos. I have 3 kids. I had 3 children. This is the sentence structure most languages use. The verb gustar follows a different structure, or you need to understand it in a different way. Let's see how. So let's practice with an example. In English, you can say, I like ice cream. I is the subject, the verb of the action is like, and the object is ice cream. I like ice cream. This is the root of people's mistakes when using the verb gustar, because people do this exercise. I, yo, like, gusto. They use it, they conjugate it like a regular verb. And then, ice cream, helado. Yo gusto helado. But the verb gustar doesn't really work like that. It works backwards. In Spanish, we don't really say I like something, or I like doing something, or I like a person, or I like a place. We say something, a person, a place, an activity is pleasing to me or to you, etc. This is why it's so hard for people to understand and to use the verb gustar and the verbs like gustar correctly, because we are not really translating literally. You need to learn this or just to use the construction without even thinking about this. So in Spanish, we say, people are pleasing to me. Doing something is pleasing to me. A place is pleasing to me. So how do you say I like ice cream in Spanish? You will say me gusta el helado. This is the explanation for this. If you think that this explanation is too complicated, do not worry. Learn the construction, use the construction, and the more you repeat it, the easier it will become and the more natural it will become to you. Most Spanish speakers don't understand this, but they use it correctly because they have used it and they have heard it enough times. You can do the same thing. Now, if you struggle to understand Spanish speakers when they speak to you and you think everybody speaks too fast and you don't understand anything, if you struggle to speak Spanish because you are not sure about pronunciation, I invite you to join my Carlos Spanish Cool community. I will leave the link in the description below. Let's go back to the video. Now let's practice the usos of the verb gustar. The first one is for activities, that is for verbs. Anytime that you're talking about a verb on an activity, you use me gusta viajar. I like to travel or I like traveling. Pay attention to this very common mistake. In English, you can say I like traveling or I like to travel. In Spanish, we only say me gusta viajar. You cannot say me gusta viajando, translating ing literally. In this case, ing is not literal, it's infinitive. Me gusta viajar. Me gusta. Remember the emphasis. Gusta. Viajar. A verb is singular, so me gusta. If you have enough vocabulary of verbs, you will be able to say anything. Me gusta estudiar. I like to study. Me gusta cocinar. I like cooking or I like to cook. Me gusta ver televisión. I like watching TV or I like to watch TV. Number two, we use it for objects, that is, for things. Example, me gustan las montañas. Montañas, we use the article las. Montañas, mountains, is plural. It's a plural noun. So we say me gustan. But the emphasis is not the A-N-T-A-N. The emphasis is the G-U-S. Gus. Me gustan las montañas. I like mountains. You can say me gustan los perros. I like dogs. Very important. This is a plural noun. So every time that you talk about something that is plural, you use the verb gustar in the plural form, which is gustan. Number three, attraction to people. Physical or romantic attraction. This is a very important idea. Me gusta Scarlett Johansson. Scarlett Johansson, she's very beautiful. So I like her. I find her attractive. I'm not saying that I like her because she's a nice person. I'm saying that she's very beautiful. This is a very common mistake most Spanish students make. They think that gustar is used for personality. But for personality, we use a different verb that we're going to see in this group as well. So if you just met a person, you don't say me gustas because that would imply that you're attracted to that person. Number 4, to like people's work. This is very important as well. And here, contexts and also intonation are very important. It's not the same to say me gusta Scarlett Johansson than to say me gusta mi jefe. There, it doesn't mean that you're attracted to your boss. Most of the times. It means that you like his work, that you like what he does by being the boss. It doesn't mean personality either. And the fifth use is for places. Anytime that you say you like a place, you say me gusta. Me gusta Hawaii. I like Hawaii. What places do you like? Think about that. This is really important. When you are studying, when you're using one of these videos to study and to learn a topic, don't just finish the video and then go to the next video. Try to think about examples, common examples that you will use on a daily basis. Everybody's different, so your examples can be very different to my examples. So it's very important to practice with real life examples, common examples. Now, there is a common exception to the endings gusta or gustan, and it is when you are talking to a person directly. Then you would say, me gustas tú. I like you. I'm attracted to you. I find you attractive. You can also say, me gusta usted, using the you formal conjugation, but me gustan is more common. So remember this, me gustas. Me gustas is I'm attracted to you. It has nothing to do with personality. Let's practice using very common sentences, using all the pronouns, the two endings, gusta, gustan, and the definite articles, la, el, los, and las, when we are talking about things and objects. The first one, me gusta la comida mexicana. I like Mexican food. ¿Te gusta el café? You like coffee. Le gustan los libros. He, she, or you formal like books. Nos gustan las películas de acción. We like action movies. ¿Os gusta el vino? You guys, vosotros in Spain, like wine. Les gustan los animales. They like animals. A great way to practice a new topic is to think about common examples. Read them out loud, repeat, and try to little by little connect the words. Don't just pronounce words separately. That is okay, but most people don't speak like that. So it would be difficult to understand when people talk to you in a natural way. And if you want to speak Spanish fluently, you need to learn to connect, to link words, letters, and sounds. Now let's practice some common questions you can use with the verb gustar. The first one, this is a direct question. ¿Te gusta o te gustan? Do you like to do something, a thing, a place, etc.? Example, ¿te gusta este video? Do you like this video? Number 2, this is a very important pattern. ¿Qué tipo, qué clase de plus a noun te gusta o te gustan? This is what kind or what type of blah 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 do you like? For example, you can talk about comida. ¿Qué tipo de comida te gusta? What kind of food do you like? ¿Qué clase de comida te gusta? Libros. ¿Qué tipo de libros te gustan? What kind of books do you like? Películas. ¿Qué tipo de películas te gustan? What kind of movies do you like? Música. ¿Qué tipo de música te gusta? What kind of music do you like? And then you can say tipo or clase, kind or type. It's the same thing. Number 3. ¿Qué te gusta plus a verb? Since you're going to use a verb here, an action, you can only use the verb gustar in the singular form. Example, you can say, ¿Qué te gusta hacer? What do you like to do or what do you like doing? ¿Qué te gusta comer? What do you like to eat or what do you like eating? ¿Qué te gusta beber o tomar? What do you like drinking? What do you like to drink? ¿Qué te gusta escuchar? What do you like to listen to? ¿Qué te gusta ver? What do you like to watch on TV or at the movies? These are very useful questions you are going to use all the time. And then, little by little, you need to learn about patterns, structures that you can repeat over and over again, and you just need to change one word or a couple of words. Okay, we already practiced the conjugation, we practice examples, the uses. Now, how do we express agreement or disagreement when we are using the verb gustar and all the verbs like gustar? There are little differences that you need to pay attention to. First of all, we're going to learn how to express agreement or disagreement to an affirmative statement. Here I have 4 affirmative statements. Me gusta leer. I like reading. If somebody says, me gusta leer, and I agree to that because I like reading too, I can say, a mí también. A mí también is me too. The next one, me gusta fumar. Fumar is smoking. I don't like smoking. So if somebody says, me gusta fumar, I'm going to disagree to that statement. So I'm going to have to say, a mí no. That's how you disagree to an affirmative sentence. The next one, me gustan las fiestas. I like parties. I am not a party guy, so I don't really like parties. So I'm going to have to disagree to this statement. So I'm going to have to say, a mí no. And the last one, me gustan los vegetales. I like vegetables. And I agree to that statement, so I say, a mí también. So we express agreement or disagreement to an affirmative statement by saying a mí también and a mí no. Now, question, how do you say you too in the group of verbs like gustar? It's a ti también. The only regular ones are going to be I, which is going to be me, and you, which is going to be ti. After that, when you say he likes them too, or she likes them too, or they like them too, you just need to use the subject pronouns. For example, a él también, a ella también, etc. Now, how do we agree or disagree to a negative statement? Let's practice. Again, 4 sentences. No me gusta el whiskey. I don't like whiskey. In my case, I don't like whiskey either. So I need to say, a mí tampoco. Most people say, a mí también, but this is a negative statement. So you need to answer in a different way. A mí tampoco, me either. No me gusta la pasta. I don't like pasta. I do like pasta. So if somebody says, no me gusta la pasta, I would have to disagree. And I say, a mí sí. I do like pasta. The next one. No me gustan las arañas. I don't like spiders. And I don't like spiders either. So I am going to agree. A mí Tampoco. Neither. Neither do I. No me gustan las Corvettes. I do like Corvettes. I wish I had a Corvette, and I hope I will have a Corvette one day. So I will have to disagree to this negative statement, and I would say, a mí sí. I do. I do like Corvettes. At the beginning of this video, I told you that there are different verbs that follow the same pattern of the verb gustar. Let's practice two of the most important ones, and at the end, I'm going to give you a list of the most important verbs like gustar according to me. The first one is encantar. So, you follow the same pattern. Pronouns, me, te, le, nos, os in Spain, les. And then, encanta, if it is a singular noun, encantan, if it is a plural noun. Now, remember what I told you. The emphasis in the conjugation in the simple present doesn't go to the last syllable. It goes to the second to the last. So, the emphasis is going to be the syllable can. Encanta, encantan. And we also use it for people, places, objects, and verbs. Just like Gustav. Now, let me ask you a question. How do you say, I like you a lot? When you tell the person directly. Not gustar, but with the verb encantar, but using the same pattern and the same idea. The answer is, me encantas. And you could add in parentheses, tú. Me encantas tú. Just like you say, I like you, me gustas, when you talk to the person directly. There is a very common mistake that even Spanish speakers make. That is to say, me encanta mucho o muchísimo. This is incorrect. You shouldn't say that because encantar is an absolute, so you don't need to add anything else. Me encanta is I love or I love a lot. You don't need to add anything else. So you could say, me encanta el cine. I love the movies. Me encanta la playa. I love the beach. No, me encanta mucho. No need to say that. Let me share with you 5 common examples that are personal examples. This is something that every person needs to do. You need to come up with your own examples because we are all different. Me encanta cocinar. I love cooking. Pasta, comida italiana, Italian food, steak, carne, comida mexicana, Mexican food. Me encanta mi trabajo. I love my job. I'm so lucky because I do what I love doing. Me encanta dormir. I love sleeping. In the last few years, I've been sleeping less and less because I have so many projects. I read, I have my boys, my 3 kids. I just got a new baby. So, but I love sleeping. Me encanta viajar. I love traveling. In the last few years, my family hasn't been traveling that much because we built 2 apartments 3 years ago, so we're paying off our debts. But hopefully next year we will start traveling again. And me encantan los idiomas. I love languages. I speak English. I used to speak a little bit of Italian. I understand a lot, but I want to perfect my Italian. I want to learn French and Portuguese. Hopefully, one day. So, this is personal. Remember to come up with your own examples. You can leave some of your examples in the comments below. Liking somebody personality or not liking somebody because of personality. Again, the pronouns me, te, le, nos, os for vosotros, you guys in Spain, les, and then we're going to have the verb caer here, cae. The emphasis is cae, cae, caen. No cae, caen is cae, caen. Bien or mal. So, an example. Me cae bien mi vecino. I like my neighbor. I think he's a nice guy. Me cae bien mi vecino. Cae bien. This is personalidad, personality. Plural. Me caen bien los papás de mi esposa. I like my wife's parents. Personality. I like people. This has nothing to do with appearance, with liking somebody, feeling attraction to somebody. Now, a question. I already told you how to say I like you, I'm attracted to you directly. Me gustas. I already told you how to say I like you a lot with the verb encantar directly. Me encantas. How do you say I like you because you're a nice person, I like you personality wise with the verb caer bien? It's like this. This is a very important phrase. Me caes bien. Tú, in parentheses. Me caes bien. Me caes bien. I like you. I think you're a nice person. This has nothing to do with physical appearance. And I also tell my students, you should learn how to say, I don't like you. Even though that would be mean, you're not going to tell people that directly. But you can use it with family and friends when you're being sarcastic. For example, me caes mal. Tú, in parentheses. Me caes mal. I don't like you. For example, if my wife says, oh, I'm going to make pasta today, but I'm not going to give you anything, I would say, me caes mal. It's like, I don't like you, but I'm just joking. Okay? It's not serious. So I think it's a very important phrase to know or to learn. Let me give you a list of other very common verbs that belong to the group of gustar. So you can start looking at them. The first one, I forgot to add this one before. Gustar mucho. Me gusta mucho. Me gusta mucho viajar. Me gusta mucho dormir. Me gusta mucho cocinar. I like a lot. The next one, molestar. This is a false friend. Molestar in Spanish is to be bothered by something or by somebody or to be annoyed by somebody. The conjugation is me molesta. O me molestan. The next one, interesar, to be interested in something. The conjugation is me interesa o me interesa. I'm interested in something, in doing something, in somebody. Doler, to hurt. Me duele. This is irregular. Or me duelen. Something, a part of your body hurts. Me duele la cabeza. Me duelen los brazos. Me duele el estómago. Something hurts. Importar, to matter or to care about. Me importa. Or me importan. Parecer, to seem, when you're giving an opinion. Me parece. Me parecen. Tocar, to be one's turn. To have to do something. This is a very common expression. You can use it instead of tengo que, which is I have to do something. Both are very common. The one that I recommend not to use because you are going to sound very foreign is necesito hacer algo. I need to do something. Literally, you need to say tengo que hacer algo or me toca hacer algo. It's my turn, but I have to do something. And one more is the verb costar, which in this group doesn't mean to cost. It means to be difficult for you. So you say, me cuesta. It's difficult for me. Me cuesta levantarme temprano. It's difficult for me to get up early. Quiz time! Let us put you to the test and practice things that we saw in this class. The first one, I like reading books. How do you say that? ¿Cómo se dice? Me gusta leer libros. Here, reading doesn't translate literally. You need to say me gusta leer, not me gusta leyendo libros. Number two, I like you. Personality. How do you say that? Me caes bien. You say me gustas because me gustas is I'm attracted to you. I find you attractive. Number three, me too. In the grupo gustar. How do you say that? A mí también. You don't say yo también. Yo también is going to be used in regular, irregular, and reflexive verbs. Pay attention to that. Number four, me either in the grupo gustan. A mí tampoco. Yo tampoco will be used in regular, irregular, and reflexive verbs. And the last one, number five, I love pasta. Me encanta la pasta. Many people translate love literally and they say amo la pasta. But you are going to water down the word to love, amar in Spanish. You can use I love something or doing something using the verb amar, but when it is really your passion, when you are passionate about that. Other than that, when you want to say I like something very much, more than me gusta, you just say I love. Okay, guys, I hope you learned a lot today. If you're one of those people who struggle to understand Spanish speakers and also to speak Spanish, I recommend watching the video everybody's talking about connected speech, right here.